About the Lilas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He stayed 24 years in the marriage life, 24 years as a sannyasi. He established how we can be ideal in the also grihastha life. He showed us ideally how to live. Second point. And he showed how to be perfect grihastha and also a perfect sannyasi. Mahaprabhu taught us all that. Mahaprabhu also taught this. If you don't follow yourself, you cannot teach anything to others. Mahaprabhu himself. He gave teachings to the jivas of this world by following himself, the pure behavior. The life history of Mahaprabhu is so beautiful and sweet. Bhagavan Shri Krishna came in the Dwapara Yuga, and for 125 years he stayed in this world. Krishna also did beautiful pastimes in Vrindavan, and after that he did pastimes in Mathura, after that in Dwaraka. After performing pastimes in Dwaraka, Krishna ended his pastimes, and then he proceeded back to Nitya Goloka Vrindavana Dham. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to give benefit to the jivas of this world and to preach Nama Prem, holy names with love. Mahaprabhu, he put everyone in this flood, this ocean of divine love. And he showed us how to follow raganuga-bhakti and vaidhi-bhakti. By the teachings of Rupa and Raghunath. By Rupa and Raghunath's Goswami, Mahaprabhu established in this world how we should follow Vaidhi and Raganuga-bhakti. If you follow Vidhi-marga, the path of Archana Marga, slowly, you'll be able to enter Raga Marga. And this is something that he also taught us. Especially the book of Sanatana Goswami that he manifested about Shuddha Vaishnava Sadacharya, pure behavior of the Vaishnavas. And by also Rupa Goswami, Raghunathas Goswami, Mahaprabhu established how the Vrajavasis, they have this strong prem, this deep prem, love for Krishna. Mahaprabhu himself, after performing his grihastha pastimes, he took sannyas to fulfill the orders of his mother, and then he went to Jagannath-Puri. In Jagannath-Puri, he was staying with his dear associates and relishing prema also in Puri. Externally, he was always doing nama-sankirtana, and internally, he was relishing the prema. This also applied for the Vaishnavas. No, sorry, the Vaishnavas, they say this thing. Means Mahaprabhu, he was with his dear associates like Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda. And with them, he was relishing prem. Especially in the Gambhira. Mahaprabhu used to stay with Svarupa Damodara and Raya Ramananda. And then he was doing beautiful pastimes. Haribol. Hare Krishna. You have earphones? Sometimes Mahaprabhu used to manifest the viraha-bhava, which is not possible to describe in front of everyone. He described a little bit about the separation of Srimati Radhika. It's called Bhramara-gita in the Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhramara-gita, Srimati Radhika has this transcendental madness which is described. She saw one bumblebee, and then Srimati Radhika herself. Vamos fazer lá no Brasil, vou fazer dias para fazer uma tradução. Dias para fazer uma tradução. Srimati Radhika saw the bumblebee she was glorifying the bumblebee at first. Shukadeva Goswami described some of her transcendental madness in the Srimad Bhagavatam. In some places of the Bhagavatam, he described a little bit of the highest moods of Srimati Radhika. In the same way, Mahaprabhu was also absorbed in the mode of Srimati Radhika, staying in the Gambhira. Sometimes he used to stay with Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda and listening and relishing all this rasa madhurya katha. So especially for 24 years that Mahaprabhu was sannyas, this Tyag Jivan, renounced life. In these 24 years, Mahaprabhu, 6 years of this 24, he was traveling in many places. Like he went to Vrindavan, sometimes to South India, he also went. All these places he visited. In the last 18 years, Mahaprabhu was feeling the separation, viraha-dasa in Jagannatha-Puri. But for these 18 years, the last 12, Mahaprabhu was staying only in the Gambhira, relishing the transcendental madness of Srimati Radhika. And also describing these moods and also relishing these moods with Svarupa Damodara and Raya Ramananda. He was thinking he was Srimati Radhika. Mahaprabhu was feeling, I am Radha. My beloved Krishna, he's left me and he went to Dwaraka, Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu was completely immersed in this mood. especially the last 12 years. Yes, there's everywhere. I did. Mahaprabhu was completely immersed in this mood. Mahaprabhu was feeling so much eagerness, utkanta, longing, and all kinds of ashta-sattvika-bhavs, 8 symptoms of ecstasy were manifesting in his body. Trembling, tears, changing of color. This is ashta-sattvika-vikara. So there are 5 kinds of stages. Our acharyas explain: dhumayita, jvalita, dipta, uddipta, and sudipta. Dhumayita, jvalita, dipta, uddipta, sudipta. Dhumayita means if 1 or 2 of the sattvic bhavas, the symptoms of ecstasy, manifest in the body. This is called dhumayita stage. Dhumayita means smoky stage. No, the smoke is coming. Smoke. Before the fire starts to burn, this smoke is coming. A little bit smoke. For example, in the woods, if you put some fire in the woods, before the fire starts, this smoke is coming. So in the same way, if one person has 1 or 2 of the sattvic bhavas in the heart, manifested in the heart, this is called dhumayita stage. Jvalita means 2 or 3 maximum of these sattvic bhavas are in the heart. Jvalita means when the flame is coming, flame. Dipta, this already light is coming. How many? 4? 4 or 5. 4 or 5 sattvic bhavas in the body is dipta stage. Uddipta, 5 or 6. Next one. Uddipta, 5. No. 5 or 6 until 7. But sudipta is when the 8 symptoms of ecstasy at the same time are in the body. Sudipta Mahabhav. And this we see only in Srimati Radhika, manifested completely in Srimati Radhika only. Sudipta Mahabhav. And also this reflected on Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu also showed this. When Mahaprabhu was staying in the Gambhira, he was feeling the transcendental madness, and he used to read one shlok. Sometimes he used to cry. Sometimes he would rub his face on the wall, and then it was bleeding. Blood was coming. Blood came out. Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda used to pacify Mahaprabhu. In this way, he was suffering separation. And then, Svarupa Damodara, he used to recite shlokas of Vidyapati and Chandidasa. Vidyapati and Chandidasa. And Raya Ramananda used to recite shlokas of the Bhagavatam and also the book that he had himself written. Jagannatha-vallabha-nataka. The book of Raya Ramananda was called Jagannatha-vallabha-nataka. So Raya Ramananda used to recite these shlokas And then the separation of Mahaprabhu would increase more and more. And all the pores of Mahaprabhu's body, all his pores, in Hindi it's called Romabali. It's like the pores of the hair base. What happened to them? Completely horripilated or goosebumps. But not only that, the pores of the hair will become even red, just like the thorns of the simul tree, cotton tree. Have you seen this cotton tree, the big cotton tree? Like the thorns of the cotton tree. They're very big. So in the same way, Mahaprabhu, the horripilation of Mahaprabhu's body was just like the thorns of the cotton tree. So big. Like his hair would be so like outside, like really big, and also red around the base of the hair. Srimati Radhika, when she was suffering separation, she was also feeling so much hot in her body, heat. Yesterday I told, Prema comes to such a stage. Sometimes there's so much hot heat in the body. And sometimes the body becomes so cold. When Srimati Radhika is feeling this heat of separation in her body, her body becomes so hot, extremely hot. Then the Sakis, the friends, they make a beautiful lotus petals bed, a bed of lotus of petals for her. Srimati Radhika lies on it, but Srimati Radhika has so much heat in her body, and because of this heat, all the petals immediately they dry, they wither, they dry. All this is described also. How is the separation mood of Srimati Radhika? The same way we see the separation of Mahaprabhu also. The same mood of Srimati Radhika that Uddhava saw, the same mood Mahaprabhu was immersed day and night. Uddhava came in Vrindavan, he met all the Brajavasis, also met the gopis at the end, and Srimati Radhika. At that time, Uddhava, he saw the beautiful sentiments of the Braj gopis and of Srimati Radhika. Vishwanath Chakravarti Pada describes, imagine if you come to the base of a gigantic mountain. You're standing at the feet of a gigantic mountain, and you want to look at the peak of the mountain. Peak of the mountain. The peak of the mountain. If you bend your head to look up, but if you have a hat on your head, the hat which you have in your head, it will fall down. When you bend your head to look, when you turn your head to look up, your head will fall down. In the same way, Uddhava, when he saw this divya-unmada-dasa transcendental madness of Srimati Radhika, Uddhava became completely astonished, shocked, because Uddhava, he knew all the shastras, he knew everything. Uddhava knew. He was the direct disciple of Brihaspati. is the shloka describing Uddhava's qualities. He's the best of the Vrishni dynasty. He's the best personality of the Vrishni dynasty. Yadu dynasty, Vrishni dynasty. He's a very important person. Mantri is also the minister of Krishna, advisor of Krishna. Advisor. He's also the dear friend of Krishna, very dear friend, intimate friend of Krishna, best friend. Uddhava is the direct disciple of Brihaspati. He learned everything from Brihaspati. He is the disciple of Brihaspati. And his intelligence is always calm and quiet, very peaceful. Understand? Those who speak too much, they think very little, less. But those who speak little, they think a lot. We see this in this world. जो ज़्यादा बात करता है चिंता कम करता है. Yes? Yeah? Okay. For example, the scientists, they don't speak too much. They're always calm and quiet and thinking, like pondering, thinking, reflecting about the things. So what I want to say is that Uddhava, his intelligence, is always in the mode of goodness, calm and quiet, reflecting and thinking, pondering everything. And then he gives the conclusion after. Krishna himself searches the advice of Uddhava. For example, one time 2 letters came to Krishna at the same time. One was the letter of Yudhisthira Maharaj. One letter came from Yudhisthira. In this letter was written that, "Hey Prabhu," Yudhisthira wrote to Krishna, I want to perform the Rajasuya Yagya. We need your help for that. And without you, I cannot do anything. I want to do everything under your guidance. Yudhisthira told Krishna, so please come here for this. So Yudhisthira sent this letter to Krishna. And at the same time, another letter came. Jarasandha kings. So there were many kings imprisoned by Jarasandha, and they sent a letter to Krishna. Jarasandha was a very evil person, so he defeated many kings and then put them in the jail, arrested them. He was going to do a sacrifice. He was going to kill them all. When he gathered 100 kings, then he would sacrifice them all, like kill them. He already had 99 kings arrested in the prison. At that moment, these kings also, together they decided to write a letter to Krishna, asking for his help. Krishna, please set us free from this jail. So Krishna got these two letters at the same time. Krishna was thinking, what is proper for me to go or not? Where should I go? Krishna himself could not decide. Couldn't decide. Krishna was doing pastimes like a human being. Bhagavan is completely independent. Everything happens because of his desire. Bhagavan says, whatever you see in this world, whatever this material nature is doing, is actually under my guidance. Everything is running under my guidance. Whether it's directly or indirectly. Actually, everything is controlled by God. That's why they say, not even a leaf can move without Lord's desire. And he's completely independent. He does not wait for anyone. Completely independent. By the blink of his eyes, unlimited universes are created and destroyed. This way, Bhagavan Krishna. So he's asking to Uddhava. So at the same time, I got two letters, two invitations. One from Yudhisthira, another from all those kings which were arrested by Jarasandha. So Swayam Bhagavan asked Uddhava, Uddhava, you tell me, where should I go first? Krishna had to take decision and go. So Krishna asked Uddhava, where should I go first? Of course, generally we prefer to accept the invitation of those who are dear to us. Preference. The first preference given to those who are nears and dears, like very intimate persons. These are the normal morals. Yudhisthira and the Pandavas are very, very close to Krishna, and also they are family related. So they are sons of Kunti, who is the auntie of Krishna. Kunti and Krishna are related. But these kings who wrote the letter, they had no relationship with Krishna. So what is proper for Krishna to go? Krishna asked Uddhava, Uddhava, tell me, what is it proper for me to go? Uddhava told, Prabhu, you are completely independent. Your Lord independent. You have already actually decided. Just to teach the peoples of this world, you are asking me, but actually you already decided. Because God is independent, of course. Just to teach the people of this world, Loka Shiksha, you are asking me. So Krishna was asking Uddhava where to go. But Uddhava gave such a beautiful, logical answer. He said, Prabhu, Yudhisthira Maharaj, he sent you the letter, invitation letter, yes. To perform the fire sacrifice. He wants to perform Rajasuya Yagya. This can be performed later. But the kings who are arrested, first you have to release them from the jail. Maybe someone is related to you or not, but they are day and night thinking about you. And they are suffering so much, so you have to release them from the jail. And then when you deliver them from the jail of Jarasandha, they will feel indebted to you. They will feel eternally indebted to you and grateful. So when you will go to the Rajaswayagya of Yudhisthira, all these kings, they will also follow you. And this will increase your fame and glory. If you go alone somewhere, it's different if you go with so many kings. This will show your fame, your glory, your power. So if you go someplace alone, it's one thing. If you're walking alone, nobody gives so much attention to you if you're walking alone. But if any person is going with many people, everyone is looking, staring, like, who is this person? And everyone glorifies this person. Uddhava says, Prabhu, you must deliver the kings from the jail and bring them along to the fire sacrifice of Yudhisthira. Bhagavan heard this and he became very pleased. If somebody goes alone, it's not so glorious. But if you go walking along with many people, this makes your glory increase. You see, even Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, he has the Sudarshana Chakra. He just remembers his Sudarshana Chakra. Sudarshana will come and he can destroy everything in 1 second. But still, just to teach the people of this world, this is being shown. So what I want to say is that Uddhava is very dear to Lord, very dear. You know, Swayam Bhagavan even takes advice from Uddhava. Uddhava is not an ordinary person. He's a disciple of Brihaspati. He studied everything with him. Brihaspati taught all the Shastras to Uddhava except for one. Which one? Prema-Shastra. He didn't study with his guru. So I said that when Uddhava came to Vraj, even though he was super scholar educated, he knew all the knowledges of everything, he came to Vraj with like a basket or a thing full of knowledge. Like he came with Vraj with all his knowledge. But when he saw the beautiful moods of Srimati Radhika and the gopis, he became astonished. So Uddhava told one thing, Aho, like wow. Aho means when you're completely astonished or impressed. Completely astonished. Then you use the word Aho. In many shlokas he told Aho. Aho also means when you express a very deep mood of your heart relating to prem. You also use aho. In Sanskrit, the word aho is very important word. It's not ordinary word. The word aho. So Uddhava, when he saw the prema of gopis and Radharani, he felt surprised. He was surprised. And he said even the queens of Dwarka couldn't have these feelings which gopis have. The gopis have. The queens of Dwarka, which are always with Krishna, Rukmini and Satyabhama. This prema is not available for them. They cannot have this kind of prema. This prema is in the heart of the gopis. What can I say about this prema? They have sneha, man, pranay, raganurag, bhava, mahabhav, rura, adirura, mohan, and madanakya mahabhav. Topmost moods. So Uddhava told, this prema is even rare for the mahishis of Dwarka. The queens of Dwarka can never ever have this kind of prema. Maybe you ask something. When Uddhava came in Braj, Krishna hadn't yet married the queens of Dwarka. He hadn't yet married them. So how come Uddhava would say, oh, this prema is rare even for the Mahishis if Krishna was not even married? How would he mention the queens of Dwarka if Krishna was not married to them? So the answer is, yes, that time Krishna was not married yet. He was not married yet to Rukmini and Satyabhama. According to the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna stayed 11 years in Braj. 10 years actually and 8 months. 10 years and 8 months. After that, Krishna went Mathura, 10 anos e 8 meses. Then in Mathura, Krishna killed Kamsa. After that, he released Ugrasen from the jail. He also delivered Devaki and Vasudeva from the jail of Kamsa. After that, Krishna himself he established Ugrasen as the king of Mathura. Krishna did not take the post of king. He gave the kingdom to Ugrasen. He made Ugrasen the king. After that, Devaki and Vasudeva sent Krishna and Balaram to Ujjain. For 64 days they learned 64 different kinds of art in Ujjain. Then they came back to Mathura. After that, Krishna was looking at the Jamuna from far. Looking at the Jamuna from far, Krishna was remembering Braj. Krishna was looking at the Jamuna from far in Mathura. He remembered the Vrajavasis and the prema of Vrindavan. At that moment, Uddhava, he came to the room of Krishna. So Krishna opened his heart to Uddhava. He expressed his heart and he said, Uddhava, go to Braj, give my message to the gopis and pacify my parents. Uddhava, you go to Braj. Pacify my parents and my friends and give my message to my beloved gopis. So what I want to say is that when Uddhava came from Mathura to Vrindavan, Krishna was not married yet. Krishna got married where? In Dwarka. After Jarasandha attacked 18 times Mathura, after the 17th time, Krishna brought all the Mathuravasis and established them in Dwarka, in the middle of the ocean, in a palace. Then after that, then Krishna got married to the queens according to the rules of this world, Lokariti. Krishna got married to 16,108 queens in Dwarka. According to Brihad-Bhakti explains that in one kalpa, Krishna got married to Rukumini in Mathura. Got married to Rukmini in Mathura in one kalpa. In one kalpa this takes place, but according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna's weddings, they only took place in Dwarkapuri, according to the Bhagavatam. So the question we are raising, like asking, when Uddhava went to Braj, Krishna was not married yet. So how possible Uddhava told this prema is even rare for the queens of Dwarka? The queens, Mahishis, means the queens which are always with Krishna, the wives of Krishna. This mood is not possible for them. This mood that Radharani and the gopis have in their hearts is not possible for the queens of Dwarka. Do you understand? Are you understanding or not? What did I say? So one question is arises. When Uddhava came to Braj, Krishna was not yet married to the Mahishis, to his wives, Rukmini, Satyabhama, all of them. जब उद्धव ब्रज में गए, okay, so the question arises. Uddhava mentions this bhav is rare for the queens of Dwarka, this prema of the gopis, like divine transcendental madness, divya-unmada-dasa. Uddhava saw this and became astonished, and this word came out of his mouth, Uddhava's mouth. Mahishanam sudurlabham. This prema is even rare for the Mahishis, means the wives of Krishna. This prema is not possible to appear in their heart. The emphasis, the intent is, why did Uddhava say about the wives if Krishna was not yet married? He said the Mahishis don't have this prema. In the Bhramara-gita I wrote the answer. Yeah? Huh? Yes. So when Uddhava saw this sentiments of the gopis, the moods of the gopis. This sound came out of his mouth. Aho. What I want to say, the word aho that he told shows astonishment, surprise, astonishment. That's why I use the word aho. Something you have never seen before, and you see suddenly. You become astonished or surprised, impressed. Whoa, wow. And then he also said, Mahishanam api sudurlabham. This prema is rare for the Mahishis. This prema is not possible for the queens of Dwarka. The prema of queens of Dwarka can only come to which level? Rura Bhav. Only Rura Bhav. Sneha, Man, Pranay, Rag, Anurag, Bhava, Mahabhav. Rura. Okay, maximum Adirura Mahabhav. But many, only Rura Bhav they have. But Radha and the gopis, their prema goes Rura, Adirura, Mohan and Magdanaka Mahabhav. So these queens of Dwarka, they're always with him, and they don't have this kind of prem. It's not possible. This is prem for them. So how possible this prem came in the heart of the gopis? It's not possible even to explain in words these moods of the gopis. So that's why Uddhava used this word. And one question I asked is, why did Uddhava mention the name of the queens of Dwarka, showing his astonishment? Mentioning the queens of Dwarka. Acharyas explained there are two reasons. One, the Krishna Lila is eternal. His pastimes are going on in any universe. The Lilas are still going on, and those who are fortunate can see them. Krishna Lila and Gora Lila, they are still going on in any universe. So because the Lilas are eternal, whatever Uddhava said is true. Another point. Jogamaya herself appeared in the mouth of Uddhava, and his word came out. When Uddhava told this word, he said, Mahishanam api sudurlabham. So he used the word Mahishis, queens of Dwarka. So this is not Uddhava's own words. This was words of Jogamaya or Lila Shakti also. This Lila Shakti entered in the mouth of Uddhava, and he told this. And also another explanation is that the Lilas are going on elsewhere. There are unlimited universes. In any of the universes, this Lila is going on. So we're hearing about Uddhava. How Swayam Bhagavan took advice from Uddhava. And Uddhava advised Bhagavan and told Prabhu, first you have to kill Jarasandha. Then you deliver all these kings from the prison. Then with these kings you join the Rajaswayagya of Yudhisthira Maharaj. In this way your glories, your fame will increase. And the kings will also feel indebted towards you. So what I want to say is that Mahaprabhu, he was hearing all this from Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda, all these moods, about all these moods. Especially after hearing about the transcendental madness of Srimati Radhika, the separation of Mahaprabhu would increase. Divya-unmada-dasa, transcendental madness of Mahaprabhu and Srimati Radhika. Just like, when the fire is burning, if you put ghee in the fire, what will happen? The fire will increase the flames of the fire. The same way, Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda, they were discussing this divya-unmada-dasa katha, speaking about the transcendental madness to Mahaprabhu. And then the moods of Mahaprabhu would increase more. Instead, so they came to pacify Mahaprabhu. They were supposed to pacify Mahaprabhu, Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda. But when they were speaking this kathas to him, the separation of Mahaprabhu would increase even more. If someone is crying, you should pacify the person. So that his suffering or his pain may be relieved a little bit, like this. But Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda, they were speaking such viraha katha to Mahaprabhu. Hearing about these topics, his separation of Mahaprabhu would increase even more. So the servant of Mahaprabhu called Govinda told, why do they come, this Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda? Why they are coming here? They come here and they are pouring ghee in the fire. If you put ghee in the fire. But actually, how much bliss is in this separation mood? Those who feel viraha, they can understand what I'm saying. There's no viraha separation in this world. I'm talking about the separation in the transcendental world. Actually, in the separation, there's a beautiful meeting actually inside. Externally, the person is crying, but in the inner core of heart, there's so much bliss. Externally, crying. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains, tapta icho, charma joiche, charana na jai. Just like, what is the meaning? If you're sucking the sugar cane juice, and the sugar cane is hot, take one sugar cane. So take one sugar cane and put it in the fire. So the juice of the sugar cane will become hot. Then you suck eat the sugar cane. It will be very tasty. The juice of the sugar cane, it will be very sweet. You cannot stop sucking. But also it will be very hot. It will burn your tongue, but also be sweet. It will burn your tongue, but sweet at the same time. You cannot stop sucking it because it's really sweet, but although it's burning your tongue. So the example is this one. In the separation, hearing about separation mood, the heart feels so much bliss, unprecedented bliss. It's not possible to describe in words. But the servant Govinda of Mahaprabhu, he couldn't understand. Govinda said, why do Svarupa Damodara and Raya Ramananda are coming? Why they speak viraha katha to Mahaprabhu? And they are increasing the separation of Mahaprabhu. Why they are doing this? If you hear viraha katha, your separation will increase, of course. So depending on which kind of katha you listen, that kind of bhava will appear in your heart. That's why Govinda is saying, the servant of Mahaprabhu. Why does Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda come and they speak this kind of katha to Mahaprabhu? Actually, Mahaprabhu, he was feeling so much happiness in his heart when he heard this viraha katha from Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda. So if you externally you might see Vaishnavas suffering externally, but internally they are feeling topmost bliss. What happens in the prema stage? Stages of prema. Ante-lila, Chaitanya-charitamrita, 4th chapter. Chaitanya-charita Ekudanda Samad. So, how can we relish the sugarcane juice? You suck and the juice will come in your tongue, in your mouth. Different ways you taste the juice by different means. For example, the juice of mango, you taste in a different way. Have you taken juice mango? How do you make mango juice? You take a ripened mango, then you must, in your hand, you should like squeeze it in your hand a little bit, and while it's still with the skin. Then you make a hole, small hole. Then you just suck it, and all the rasa will come in your mouth. All the juice will come, except the seeds. In my childhood, I used to do this. So you take the ripened mango with your hands. You just press with the skin, and then you make a hole in the skin, and you just suck everything, and everything will come except for the seeds. And how to relish the sugarcane juice? So you take out the skin, the peel. You peel the sugarcane, then you just put it in your mouth, suck. Nowadays there's a machine, and the person is just drinking the juice. But this doesn't give so much happiness. Drinking the juice. When you use your teeth to chew the sugarcane, this is giving happiness, and also it's good for your teeth because you're exercising your teeth. So you relish the sugarcane juice like this. Nowadays people become so lazy. Why chew the sugarcane juice? Let's just, with the machine, maybe we can break our tooth. By chewing the sugarcane, maybe break the tooth or something comes inside your tooth. People are afraid. That's why better just mash and take the. So they drink only 1-2 minutes, everything, all the juice, because the machine pressed. But the happiness when we chew the sugarcane juice, when you chew the sugarcane, you feel so much happiness, and you take the juice when you chew the sugarcane, so nice. Especially if you put the sugarcane in the fire, then it becomes hot, so nice. So the pastimes of Mahaprabhu are just like sugarcane juice. Ikudanda means sugarcane. This verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita is saying, Chaitanya Charit is saying Mahaprabhu's pastimes are like the sugarcane. So when you hear the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, you're like relishing this rasa, this juice, just like chewing the sugarcane. Like how Mahaprabhu was staying in the Gambhira the last 12 years. He was with Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda. Hearing this transcendental madness katha, Shravana Kirtan, glorifying and hearing about the transcendental madness katha. Shlokas from Vidyapati Chandidasa. also helped Mahaprabhu to relish the mood. His beautiful poems of Vidyapati and Chandidasa. Mahaprabhu used to do kirtan of these songs of Vidyapati and Chandidasa. Sometimes Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda, they used to sing the songs of Vidyapati and Chandidasa for Mahaprabhu to hear. Full of the moods of the Sakis and Srimati Radhika, these songs were. Songs of Vidyapati and Chandidasa are full of the moods of Sakis and gopis. So, one verse is saying, Chaitanya Charita Ikudanda Samay. The character of Mahaprabhu, these pastimes are like the sugar cane. Just like you're relishing the juice of the sugar cane. Like again and again, we must clarify and hear about the scriptures and also relish this divine transcendental Lila of Mahaprabhu. Like by hearing the Shastras and reading again and again, we can relish these pastimes of Mahaprabhu. Especially the last 12 years of the life of Mahaprabhu. He was staying the Gambhira. And he manifested all this Lila. Completely transcendental, alokik. Sometimes Mahaprabhu, he would come out of the Gambhira. And that place where they were selling the prasad of Jagannath. Ananda Bazar? Singhadar? Not even the cows used to go to that place. I think where they are throwing the prasad, not selling. Mahaprabhu was rolling on the ground, and he would become in the shape of a turtle. His body would become like a turtle shape. Mahaprabhu's body would become like a turtle. So all his limbs would come inside his body. This would happen to him. Sometimes his body would become so long. His joints would become long also. Like his body completely long and joints separated. He used to come to the beach, seeing the blue waters of the ocean. Mahaprabhu would think it was the Jamuna. And then Mahaprabhu would be taken by the waves until Konarak. Have you been to Konarak? The waves would take Mahaprabhu until Konarak, which is the next city, next to Puri. Have you been to Konarak? Sometimes he would be taken until Chakratirtha. So divine pastimes of Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Charit is Dibya Alokik. The pastimes of Mahaprabhu is divine and transcendental. In the books like Gopal Champu describes about Vraja Prem. In the six Sandarbhas also. In all these books, all this Vraja Prem is described.